Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 361 for July 2nd, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another one, Trevor.
And I'm the last one, Kelly.
And no Dave today.
Nope.
Dave?
Dave.
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah.
These are the Daves I know. These are
the Daves I know.
Yeah.
Dave had an appointment with
A thing.
a thing. Yeah, he had a thing.
Okay, sure. I don't show up and I get COVID.
Well,
Dave has a thing.
I'm trying to
Listen,
subtle,
when you're
subtlety.
in zone 5, you cannot have anyone imply that you have COVID. Okay, like we are the lepers of New Brunswick. We are.
it's Campbellton. You're always the lepers, anyways.
You're not wrong, but now it's even worse. Like before, it was just because we were close to Quebec, right? So we were like guilty by association. But now it's like, keep your Campbellton COVID to yourselves. I got to share a funny story. I was at an RC race on Saturday, and this guy walks in. He thinks he's the first one there, but naturally, I've been there like, I got there before the race director did. So this guy walks in. He's right away. He's like, what are you doing about social distancing? And so he answers a couple of questions. And then he goes, is there anybody coming here from Campbellton? And the race director looks over at me and kind of giggles and points. I look right at him. I don't feel good. And then he proceeded to stand right next to me on the driver's stand.
Well, he didn't really care all that much then.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
He just wanted to, virtue signal a little bit.
Yeah. RC cars. Come on.
This is a gun show. Let's talk
Yeah.
about guns.
Talking
What
about
we did in
COVID.
guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. They have the Remington 870 Police Walnut because, sometimes you get walnut police. And it's going for $920. It's built a little bit heavier to withstand the abuse and pounding that police departments inflict upon their gear. Heavy and deep, hard and deep infliction
This is
of
going to be the whole
pain on their
thing
gear.
for the show.
Upgrades include a metal trigger, heavier springs, and both front and rear swivel studs, as well as a blued finish inside and a beautiful walnut wood stock that will be abused.
So back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
when the 870 Police first came out, it was a Wingmaster, and they were actually made in a separate part of the factory, and held to a higher standard because they were going, they were made for the police,
Mm-hmm.
and they were Wingmasters. I doubt very much this is the quality of those original 870 Police, because those were Wingmasters. The clone that I made last year, the year before, was made on a Wingmaster. But the Calgary Shooting Center had the 590 Retro, right? And I bought that
Mm-hmm.
because it was this kind of thing. And now 870, and Remington's like, well, if Mossberg is going to reintroduce a vintage-looking shotgun, we better do it too.
Right? That's usually what happens.
Yeah, well, exactly right. If Ford
follow.
does something, Chev has to follow suit. Does it say anywhere in any of this if it's threaded or not?
No.
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 I would
Not
assume
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not very police to
No.
put something on that you could lose.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
mine threaded though. I got my other
So it makes it
590
useful?
A1 threaded. Exactly right.
Yeah.
If you are interested in the Mossberg version of this, keep in mind it's not an A1. So the trigger guard is plastic, not aluminum, like the A1. So it's a 590.
Is that the only difference?
That I think is the primary difference. The 590 A1 has a longer tube, and it has a longer barrel, and it has an aluminum trigger guard. The 590 does not have those things. So,
Trevor, I just have
Ma?
to make a statement. Your gun room there is looking very sparse.
it
Bare.
is. Yeah, it's like 2/3 of my collection is gone.
But 2/3, like in number, like there's probably a
Yeah.
lot of coups that went, right?
All the coups went.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I
That's
don't
a
Coulis-
high volume of
Coulis
things.
liquidation.
I have yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Like I got like 4 handguns left. Maybe 1, 2, 3,
4
4.
and
Yeah, I
more.
got 4 handguns left.
2 revolvers.
Well, what you see
Yeah.
back there, they're sold. They just haven't been picked up yet.
Oh,
Yeah, so
it'll now
You
be
are-
your RC room.
Well, you
Yeah,
are
that's
selling
in the basement.
handguns at the right time because
Yeah.
should the handgun ban come through, handgun prices on the used market are going to collapse, and there are going to be some cheap handguns out there. So it might even be a good idea.
I've got one for sale.
What do you got? What are you selling?
Uh,
Anything good?
registration is closed. Sorry, pal.
Apparently, anyways. Hi,
Or-
Adrian. How are you?
Hey.
Avery?
We could continue
We
on
could
with the
get
show
going
here.
with the
No,
show.
somebody's-
Well, squirrel.
Match director's duties are never done. Somebody sent me a message. I'd like to register somebody. Well, you should have registered that person before 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Which gun are you
So
selling?
I was asking you.
Oh,
which gun you're
my
selling.
Trojan. My Trojan is for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this one.
Combien?
15.
Hmm.
Ready to go for the IPSC. It's got Dawson sights, Dawson magwell, DTS safeties, Dawson mag button, STI extended button.
What else are you throwing in?
Nothing.
Megs? How many?
Nothing. What else are you throwing in? Nothing. Mags.
How many megs?
Nothing. Nothing throwing in. That
Zero.
means no mags. This many
Does not even
mags.
come with
All
one. Just
zeros.
empty.
Oh, you.
Right.
You single load it.
Yeah. You provide your own mags.
Ole.
Uh,
All right, whatever.
cool. Trevor, what have
Yeah.
you been doing in guns lately?
I've been sucking at matches. So, I changed the sear cage that we had second IPSC match of the year. I wasn't allowed to attend the first one because of Campbellton COVID. So I went to the second one, and I got that sear cage installed before, and everything worked very good, much success. So got a little bit of practice in with other Trevor, and then went to Justin Brown's black badge match at Filthy's Range. I won my division, but did not finish very well overall. I think it was like 5th or 6th or something. What were you going to say, Kelly?
I was just gonna. This is Justin's first match that he did. No, okay, maybe not.
What else? And then I shot another match. I think I had 2 matches back to back. So there's a black badge match at Filthy's Range, and then there was a black badge match at Thomaston Corner, and I believe Justin and Joe put that one on. Same thing. Won my division, but got like 6 overall. Guys that hadn't beat me since I was new were beating me, and one new guy, Tim Gillis. Yeah, Tim Gillis. Where the hell did he come from? He's had 2 real good strong matches so far this year, so that's fantastic. I'm really happy for
sometime
you,
on
Tim.
Discord.
Yeah. All right. What else? Oh, and then I was getting ready for the 2-gun match, and I was going to shoot it in PCC. It was only 100 meters, so I took my FX9 and my Glock, and I'm like, all right, I'll use 1 ammunition, 1 magazine.
Cool.
You know what I mean? It'd be great, right?
Yep.
Except I forgot that the FX9 is literally a piece of shit, and it broke on me again. Shot out of battery again and plugged the barrel with a squivel.
That's not good.
Again. So took some cheap shots at people on CGN, and I felt bad and took it down. And but I sold it I was raging, and I sold the gun on Facebook. I was just like complaining about it on Facebook, and somebody was like, I'll buy it. And I'm like, oh, I almost feel bad. Randy was like, how much? I'm like, $800. Then somebody else was like, how much? I'm like, $500. The next person would have asked me, it would have been free probably. So anyway, yeah, I sold it for $550, squib and all. Here you go. And then the next day I sold the optics to him off of it. So I shipped the gun on one day and then shipped the optics the next day. And so it all went off to BC.
$500.
I'm
gonna get a Ruger PCC or
no? No. Jesus, that thing will give you no.
What do you, no PCCs.
What would I do for a PCC? I might look at nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all
that's the end of that. The 2-gun match I lost. I'd like to say that the match was decided by who could pull a pallet the best. But as much as I'd like to say that, that's not how the match was decided. But at the end of that stage, Manderson was ahead of me by 14 seconds. And that was going to be pretty much insurmountable. This particular stage was you had your rifle on a table and you shot 2 steel plates at 100, and then you had to pull this pallet through the crushed rock on the range floor, pretty much in like 10-meter intervals. You pull it up to a set of cones, and then you grab your rifle and you shoot the steel again. You put the rifle down and you pull the pallet again, and the rope was really stretchy. And I knew I should have been using my legs, but I was like, I didn't clue in and use my legs right away. Manderson used his legs right away, took the slack out of the rope and walked, took the slack out of the rope and walked. So my time on that stage was 211 seconds. Manderson did it in 150 seconds. Like he was literally, he went into full beast mode. We did a casada drill, and like, it was great. He was just whipping it like it was ridiculous. Anyway, I had no idea how strong he was. So, so that put him 14 seconds ahead. And then at the end of the match, we had a bonus drill, and it was basically a bill drill. It was you were shooting the target in the nuts, essentially. There was hard cover, like a penalty around it, and the only part of the scoring zone would have been like the crotch area. So anyway, stogie in mouth, beep, pull the Glock, pump 6 rounds into the scoring zone in, I don't know, under 3 seconds. It wasn't a fantastic time, but I believe I was the only one to shoot it clean. So that would have given me the match by 3 seconds if I had not had a mic on stage 2. And a penalty for a mic was 60 seconds.
Don't miss.
Nope. Yeah. So, and it was my only mic, thank God, but it was enough that it cost me the match. So really, I lost because of that miss, not because of the pallet pulling, but it was tough, man. I'm still sore from pulling that pallet. Like, I've got video of it, a couple of different angles. I don't know. Did I show you guys the video? Did I send you guys?
Did you pull a calf muscle or anything though?
Oh, Kelly, resurrecting an oldie but a goldie. Good for you. No, Dick, I didn't pull a calf. I also didn't blow any calf. I wasn't going up a slight incline, Kelly. I was pulling a heavy pallet through crushed rock. Anyway, you pull this pallet, Kelly, and you can see like the crushed rock, like just plowing up in front of it, like a snow plow clearing the highway in Newfoundland. It was ridiculous. Anyway, but so this is the same match director, Joel, that put on the Everything But Air 15 match last fall.
Yeah.
So small match. There was only supposed to be 10 of us. Shame on you that no-showed because there were people on a wait list. Never show to the listeners. Never no-show. Always try and give the match director as much heads up as you possibly can, because there could be somebody on a waiting list who wants your spot. If you just no-show, the match director can't notify that person that they're into the match. So it's really not cool. I mean, yes, stuff happens. I get it. But whenever possible, be courteous and let the match director know that you're not coming. Gallon was so confused. He went to the wrong town on the wrong day for the wrong match.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
he was so mad.
Gallon, you don't go to the bathroom without texting me 6 times. There's like 3 matches this weekend, and you never talk to me about any of them at all. Like,
he's going, well, why are they scheduling the matches on the same day? They weren't.
Right.
He said, I could have shot 2 matches this weekend, and I didn't shoot any because I went to the wrong range.
Oh.
Yeah. It was.
What else?
It was funny.
And then
okay, can I go back? Can we go back just a little bit? Because all right, this match it was fantastic. There's a new award that's out too. Tell me about the award, please. Everybody needs to hear about this award because it's absolutely true. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Well, I have to read what's on the award.
Okay.
All right. So there's a new award that will be given out at these matches from now on. And this award is called the Frelate Award. And the Frelate Award is given out to the competitor who, stand by. Okay, here we go. Awarded to the competitor who asked the most match-related questions in an effort to be as prepared as possible vis-a-vis match equipment design, borderlining on the verge of gaming.
Right. So you're the gamer.
So I won the first ever Ferlacci Award.
Right, which you also said was the pain in the ass award as well. Correct? You're the biggest pain in the ass?
It's the person who wants to be the most sure of the rules. Really know the rules.
Right? That's it. That's all.
And benefit from knowing the rules.
Exactly. And every time I thought I found a loophole, he would shut the door on me.
Yeah.
Ready this time. But
that's good. Didn't he have like 24 pages of DQ stuff?
No, but the rule book for this match was comprehensive. How's that? Thorough.
Okay, so Filthy says right now the match director wrote a whole rule book to stop Trevor from gaming. He knows you so well.
Normally, you just you'd use the IPSC rule book or just rip off one of the established ones rather than writing your own.
That's what I would think, yes, but he's doing his own thing. So
yeah, good for him.
Yeah, so it was good. Awesome. It was there was a lot less running than the last match, but there were still some pretty physical challenges. And I mean, there was only one other person there younger than me, and I'm 45. So it's kind of like, you got to be careful with these physical matches when people are all north of 50. So anyway, it was good though.
Take your a multivitamin. Take some joint reliever in the morning.
No, just take a joint.
That's after. That's after. Yeah. Never before.
Relieve the pain.
Get all paranoid. Is this our best match? I don't know. Is this the best stage plan? You take so long. What's the start position again?
Oh God!
Sitting with bong in hand. Then other Trevor came over for a little 9mm reloading session, and then and so did a young guy at the club who hangs out with my nephew Brandon. He came over because he had some reloading questions. He's learning to reload 9mm on his Hornady progressive press. And while he was there, he saw my casting equipment. So he came over this morning at 8 o'clock, and I gave him a lesson on casting and powder coating, and then promptly sold it all to him.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then
good way to get a buyer.
Yeah.
Here's how you make your own bullets.
Now you know how to use it. You want to buy all this stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
The first hit's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then at 4 o'clock today, the squatting or the registration for the Steel Challenge closed, and I did the squatting and sent out the email and get the range buckets ready and stuff like that. So
you're talking about the
the Ronnie DeGroot Steel Challenge on Saturday. Yeah, so we'll head to the range tomorrow morning to build the stages and get the range tidied up and ready for a match. Just kidding, not tidying up shit. We're just building stages.
All right.
I might check and see if there's toilet paper in the outhouses. Yeah, I'll do that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's match director responsibility. So, yeah.
And sanitizer as well.
Yeah. So,
because it is Campbellton.
Yeah.
Maybe a hazmat suit. You don't need the alcohol wipes if you got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Yeah, if that's not it, that's enough. I got emails to answer.
Cool. Kelly?
I did quite a bit. I haven't been on in 2 weeks, so I've done quite a bit. I went to SFRC last Saturday. I bought some stuff. I bought some cable locks, and I also bought a Beretta shell pouch for my skeet.
Is it one of them ones that you can put on your belt and it holds a full box of shells?
Yep. But this
one for 28 gauge?
I got one for 28 gauge, but it's just hold on. Mm-hmm. This one is big enough to fit me as well as Kelly Kincaid, as well as 4 boxes of 28 gauge in. So it's huge, but it came in handy Wednesday night when we.
Is it one of them ones that goes way down your leg and has multiple slots in it, or is it just a little boxy deal that just holds one box of 12 gauge?
No. It's the one that it looks like a purse, but it has enough room in it for 4 boxes basically. So I'm going to be using it on Saturday as well because I have to bring four boxes with me on Saturday when I go in.
Handy.
Yeah. So anyways, so I went out to SFRC. We had a girls' night. So Marcy Harriman, who is the owner of SFRC, we went to her place afterwards, and a bunch of us girls hung out. And you know what? So Campbellton's not the only place that has COVID, and nobody wants to associate with them. So Kingston has recently had a COVID outbreak as well from all places, a nail salon. Anyways, so we have a new mandatory regulations. So indoors, everyone has to wear masks no matter what, or for providing any services, etc. We all have to wear masks. So we went out to Marcy's place, and we bedazzled the shit out of our masks. So I went to the dollar store, and I just went crazy. I bought $30 worth of stickers and markers and feathers and stuff, and we bedazzled all of our masks. So it was a lot of fun. And we talked about guns, we talked about getting together, talked about, all kinds of different things. So, and then what else happened? Oh, I went and I bought, so Josh V, who's one of our listeners, sent an email into us, and I've been corresponding with him. So he's here in Kingston. So I went and brought him some swag. And he also works at FW Black, which is an appliance place. And I needed a new fridge, so I went and bought one from him. Anyways, they're fantastic. You guys should really go. If anybody here in Kingston needs a new fridge or stove or whatever, go to FW Black. And he got me a really good deal too. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. What else? Gunny Girl calendar, let you guys know that the Gunny Girl calendar, so the 2021, we're looking for models. I posted that in the CCFR group, as well as all over all the gun groups on Facebook. So we're looking for models, and you can email me or just message me or whatever, and I'll give you the details about that. But we're going to have a photo shoot at the end of August, and it's going to be fantastic. I also yesterday shot an ORPS match. It was my first one that I ever did, and it was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. I was not set up for it totally at all. It was a last minute thing. One of the Maple Seed instructors, Thomas, we were messaging like at, I don't know, midnight on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and he goes, you should come out to it. And then I found out that Rick Ketterback, who is one of the directors for Project Maple Seed, he was going to go to it, and I told him to bring a bunch of stuff, and I was bringing him a bunch of stuff, so I was going to meet him there. So I decided I was going to shoot the match as well. So it was 35 degrees yesterday, and it was sunny, and it was awesome. And I also am red like a lobster now because I got sunburned, but it was a really, really good match. I brought my 1022 Maple Seed. It was not set up at all, so it didn't have a bipod on it, which was an issue, but I used different bags, and I brought those with me. I had serious issues with my extraction. So it wasn't extracting. I was having stovepipes like crazy. I haven't used my rifle in a long, long time. The last time it was used was by another shooter. So that was back in February, I think. So I haven't shot my rifle in a long time. I've been shooting my shotgun. I've been shooting pistol, and that's it. I haven't been shooting my and my AR, but anyways. So I didn't even know if it was zeroed. I thought it was zeroed for 25, and so I zeroed it for 50, and it was fine. Not really any extraction issues at that point, but once I started getting into the match, I had some issues. So the ORPS match, Thomas set it up. It was really, really well done. There was 5 stages plus 2 bonus stages. There was 50. So he had 50-yard targets. He had 75, and he had 100, 125 yard targets. And normally with ORPS, it's from 35 to 80, but whatever. And then the bonus stages he also had was out to 200. So you kind of needed to actually do some dialing.
Something for that.
Right? So first 3 stages. First 3 stages actually really I did well in. The bonus on the third stage was our third stage out to 200. I was able to dial in. It was fine. But what happened after that is we went to another stage. I thought we were actually going to be shooting the tank barricade first, but which was out to 200. The problem was we didn't. We actually switched over to the other one, the other stage, portion of the stage, and I actually, so in prep, I'm all about being productive while I'm waiting. So I changed, I dialed in my scope, and then I found out we were actually not shooting that, so I dialed it back, and I didn't dial it back correctly, apparently. So, and then when I was shooting, I was getting the dope calls from the spotter, and I was shooting the wrong target. Oops. And he didn't know he was shooting the wrong target. And then so what happened is I just lost my zero totally, right? Because I was making the adjustments on the fly. I'm going, I shouldn't be that far off. I shouldn't. Anyway, he goes, you're way left. All right, so I went back to actually zero again. So I missed portion of the stage because I had to go in zero again. But yeah, anyways, it didn't go so well after I lost zero. Then I came back and I was back bang on, but it was too late. But it was so much fun. The problem is, yeah, so I was drinking water as I was going up there. I had a little bit of a snack, but from 11 o'clock to 3:30 when I was leaving, I didn't eat it all. I didn't drink any water. 35 degrees, right?
Yeah.
I was baked. So I got in the car and I immediately drank. I think I went through 7 or 8 waters, and that included things like I threw in some salty almonds and different things like that because I needed to get back some of my electrolytes. But yeah, I left the range at 3:30 and I drove all the way back to Kingston, which was 2 hours, and I met Kelly and Kyle Kincaid at the skeet club because it's Wednesday night. And what do we do on Wednesday night? We go and shoot skeet. So I had another 2 hours of shooting of skeet.
That's a full day.
So I didn't do all that well with skeet, and the reason I think part of the reason is because I was so dehydrated and I was pretty much
tired.
I was baked, yeah. Mm-hmm. But still had a lot of fun. So yeah, it's a chance to go out and have some fun at the range. And it was Canada Day, so it was pretty fun. So yeah, that's it. Oh, I did sign up for a skeet thing. As I said, I have on July 4th, which is Saturday, I'm going to go and do some lessons for skeet, and I need 4 boxes. So that's going to be, I think, it's 28 gauge though, so it should be fine. 4 boxes of 12 gauge would be a little bit on the shoulder, but anyway.
It's fine as long as the shotgun fits you. It's fine.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, remember I said I was having extraction issues and stovepiping and all that? Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what was going on with my rifle. I thought maybe it was really dirty or the extractor was pooched or whatever. So I took it all apart today and I did a total strip down and clean, looked at the extractor. Everything was fine. It was just dry.
Was it oiled?
You know what? So back when originally I got it back from Kyle was the last person that used it. It was raining / sleeting / snowing when he had it. So I do know that I cleaned it because I didn't want to put it away wet without oil. But yeah, it didn't have enough oil in it. But like the ammo I was using was fine. The extractor was fine. So I'm taking it out again. I made a date with Kelly again to go out on Sunday, and we're going to take the rifle out. I'm going to go shoot a couple of MQTs just to qualify again this year. But I want to actually check out the rifle and see if there's still issues with it. I oiled that puppy up though.
Yeah,
should be fine.
It's the 1022s don't like to be dry and then shoot a couple hundred rounds through them and they start acting up.
Yeah. But this, I don't know. Anyways, I've never had anything like I had my Aguila, like the stuff, my little stash, because there's none left in Canada, by the way. So I had my little stash that I was using because it's pretty accurate stuff, right? So it did not like it at all. It was pretty bad actually. So, anyways, it is what it is.
Yep.
I had fun at ORPS. I'm going to try it again. I do need to have a different rifle or put a different optic on my rifle because I have a Crossfire 2, Vortex Crossfire 2, which is fantastic. It's 2:7. All you need is 7 magnification or whatever. But the reticle on it is just crosshairs. So, right. So what I was doing for the shorter stages, 50 to 75 to 100, instead of making adjustments, I was actually using Kentucky windage, doing the holdovers. But since I don't have any anything on the scope itself with respect to MOA adjustments. I just was doing Kentucky range. Okay, it's 6 inches. Here's where I'm going to aim at the target, and here's where I'm going to hit. And it was fine until 200, right?
Yeah, 200's a ways.
Yeah, 200 is a ways.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was fine. I had a ton of fun. I'm going to practice it. I'm going to go into the matches, and I found something else that I really like to do. It was awesome.
Fantastic. I got to go hit one of those. I got to hit an RPS match. They do them locally here.
Our first one's the 25th.
Yeah, didn't
Miramachi had one on Saturday. Gallon showed up on Sunday. Where's everybody?
Funny. Yeah, I gotta do those. Anything else?
No, that's it for me. I think I'm pretty sure. Oh, I got an announcement, but it's coming up in the events. So go.
Cool. I took my boys to the shooting range to shoot some 22s. So they did most of the shooting. I just watched. Yeah, I just kicked their butt, and awesome. That I'd not even at the shooting. No. But
I just hammered them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
took
out a 10-22.
You got away with.
So I'll tell you later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Took out the 10-22 and took out the Winchester Wildcat, and yeah, boys had fun. We shot a lot of positional shooting. So I had them shooting seated, standing, kneeling, prone, that kind of thing, because deer season's coming up, and my oldest is gonna
go with you.
He's going to hunt this year.
Okay.
He can start this year, so I need to get him comfortable with shooting positionally, because there's probably not going to shoot off a bipod. We're not going to have bags there, and we need to be able to shoot that 243 out to 200, 300 maybe. So needs to be able to accurately
I want to ask you about the Wildcat. How was it?
Fantastic.
You hadn't taken it out by that point.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Kids really liked it. They really liked the iron sights. One thing that happened to me, it might be hard to show. The iron sight got loose. I just need to tighten down that bolt on the back because it's on a slider, right?
Right.
I tried it with a scope. Tried it with a bipod.
You need a red dot for that?
I guess it could put a red dot on there. Yeah.
I got a brand new in the package Crossfire red dot, $150.
Ooh, maybe.
Okay, you're not allowed to sell anything else.
Not even been mounted. I got no guns to put it on, Kelly. What am I going to do?
I'm just saying, you're getting out of guns. You're not. It's
I'm not getting out of guns. I'm getting rid of all the guns I never used or fired.
Okay.
I support that. I support getting rid of guns that you don't use or fire, because
now I may have gone too far by selling the Versamax, but yeah, the closest thing I have to a competition shotgun now, Kelly, is that retrograde Mossberg 590 I bought.
Well, no, you have that Typhoon or Dury or whatever in the back there too.
Which
you said that's the closest thing I have to a competition shotgun.
That he's allowed to use.
Right.
Legally, yeah. You're hoop now. No
but
jams.
It held up.
No jams at all. It was fine. It was
How many rounds did you get through it?
400.
Okay, so that's a good test.
Yeah, I think so. The accuracy was like an inch at 50 yards. It's like not fantastic.
That's okay.
But yeah, like doable. I mean, everything else on it was fine. My kids preferred it to the 10-22 because it's so super
lighter.
Light. Yeah, so they could hold it standing, and it wasn't like tiring them out or anything like that. So they really liked it.
That's their good then.
Well, maybe. I mean, the thing with me is that I buy and sell a lot, right? So
I know.
That sucks to be them if they find a gun that they like. But I mean, the cool thing is that I can start cleaning the bolt here on air, and that's it. I've got it out now. I can start cleaning off. It doesn't look dirty enough. I fired all sorts of like my crappiest ammo at some
that is
Remington
innovative. I hate everything. I don't hate that.
There's some things that I like about it. Like, were you on the air when I was talking through that Norinco? What was that?
Yeah,
the SA-22. And it popped out a trigger pack, something like this.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. It's got the same striker as that. Got the same like recoil rod and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's some parts. There's some things I don't particularly like about this, like the fact that it is on like all one little plastic thing, and it's all hinging off the back there. Like, I don't think the accuracy is just going to be as good as some of the more solidly mounted solutions out there.
I concur.
But a lot of, you don't need the accuracy in a 22. You don't need that kind of accuracy because the ammo's holding you back, and especially if you're positionally shooting, you're the limit,
you're
not the gun.
Taking into a biathlon, like.
Yep. Yeah, I think if I was going to have my kids shooting like rabbits and that kind of thing, totally.
Perfect.
Super lightweight. Yeah, and I even
ducks?
put a bipod on there. I have like a little cheapo Atlas knockoff from China that mounts on a pick rail, and just jam it right on there. And I just broke this fucking thing here. So
way to go. Slides off.
It's like the new car. The first thing
off.
from scratch. You broke it.
Wait. It's fine. There we
okay.
go. There we go. Don't worry about it. It's great.
Perfect. Shoot the hell out of it.
Just leave it off, you know.
Yeah.
Or that.
That's fine.
Yeah. So even with that little bipod on there, they enjoyed that, and then we did a lot of like seated and kneeling and prone and standing and that kind of thing, and they did really well. So I'm going to do that more often with the two of them because they both enjoyed it, and all we did was shoot 22s all day.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like 22s. Maybe we'll do it on gophers next time.
Right? How was the gopher crop this year? Have you been out much?
I've been out, and it is thin, very thin. Yep.
Are they poisoning? What's going on?
Just shooting them a lot. Yeah, just a lot of people shooting them. It's fun, right? Like a lot of people in Alberta here grew up doing that,
shooting
hunting
gophers.
Yeah, shooting gophers. So now all those people grew up and they want to shoot gophers, and they're better at it now.
Most people go to picnic down by the river. No, me and the family, we go gopher shooting. Alberta pastime.
For me, yeah, definitely.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think that's it. That's
45-70 on a gopher. Oh my god.
I don't know, like a lot of, I think like if you want to do damage to a gopher, you need like a little bullet going like stupid fast. 17 HMR, 17. What is that?
22-250 is nice, though. It just turns them into a flap of bloody leather.
So does 17 HMR. 17 HMR is really devastating.
It is, but I've never been able to actually like split one in two. I've turned them inside out pretty good.
I've split them in two with like that.
What's the next step up from the 17 HMR? That new
WSM.
Yeah, that must open them up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those rounds, they're dumping all their energy into the thing behind them, so you need something that opens up rapidly. A light little bullet going stinking fast, and that's the only way to roll. But
it's the first time in years that I'm not going to Alberta this summer. It's depressing.
You feel? Yeah, well, I was just gonna say. You feel? I'm not going either. It's just weird.
It's not even a COVID thing. Like I've got to study. I got my orientation on the 7th, and then I don't know what life's gonna look like.
Yeah, after college.
During college.
Eating ramen noodles and
lines of Coke. I don't know. It'd be a thing. I didn't do Coke the first time. Maybe I'll do it this time.
Okay.
Really live it up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's university.
Yeah. That's it for me. Next up, upcoming events. Yeah. We have a new sponsor. They're called Telos Alpha. They're a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help businesses with their processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telosalpha.com.
Sweet.
Upcoming events. Kelly, did you want to cover this first one?
Okay, so this is actually not an event. It's something that's taking place. Yesterday, I bought, I don't even have it with me. CRPS, they're doing the Founders Coin again this year. So they're doing the Founder Coin fundraising. Basically, right now, it is going to be, instead of one rifle, you have the opportunity to win 2 rifles. So you purchase this coin. First rifle is a Tessero It's from tester.ca. It's a CZ 457, and it's long range precision. So it's match ready. It comes with a bunch of stuff like it comes with a nano case, clean kit, all kinds of different things. And then there's another rifle, and this one's from Go Big Tactical. It's the Voodoo V22, the KRG Bravo, and the Trigger Tech. It's a Trigger Tech build too. So it is a really nice build.
Mm-hmm.
So you can win one of those two if you buy a coin, and the coin itself is a challenge coin, but it's $50, and you, as I said, have 2 chances to win. So I bought one yesterday because I want to win it. Last year, Trevor, do you remember who won it last year?
I don't even know what you're talking about, Kelly.
Okay.
Not listening.
CRPS giveaway fundraiser. It was Brian Bolivar that won it. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So go ahead and buy it.
Brian, who?
What? Brian Bolivar won it last year. And
never heard of her.
I know.
Bolivar.
So I included the link. We can put it on the show notes as well. So CRPS, go and support them so that they can get across the country and stuff like that.
Awesome. And you want to cover this Project Maple Seed fundraiser as well?
Okay, so we launched yesterday was Canada Day. What a great way to launch Project Maple Seed's fundraiser for 2020 as well. We're in partnership with PGW Defense Technologies. They have donated one of their Flat Darker Coyote rifles. It's chambered in 308, and it comes with everything. So hard case, 2 mags, bipod, cleaning kit, etc. as well. The rifle itself is worth almost $7,000, and then all the extras as well. It's fantastic. You can also win, if you don't win that, you can also win from, who the heck was it? Oh, Gravella Agency. They gave us 2 Marlin XT22 rifles to give away as well. So you have 3 chances to win. What you're doing is you go onto our website, go into the shop, go down and purchase one of our limited edition PVC patches. It's Partners in Precision with PGW. It's $50. We have 300 of them available, and once the 300 are done, by the way, we launched this yesterday, and we're over 3/4 sold, or a third sold. Yeah. So we've already sold 100 of them. What else? It's $50 for the patch. You get a beautiful patch, but you also have a chance to win 3 rifles. So that's it.
Cool. Check this out. Look at how this bolt hangs on to all the stuff on it. There's the recoil and the mainspring all on there.
It reminds me of a 22 conversion kit bolt for an AR.
It's so weird.
So weird.
And interesting. And
How breaky is it?
Not very.
Oh.
Because the back part that I was showing you guys there, this is just a thick piece of plastic. That's metal. That's metal. This is what's doing all the work in the gun. Yeah. And the rest of it is very plasticky. The rest of it's a little maybe breaky kind of a thing. Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah.
I just come up with a brilliant idea.
What's that?
What?
So I got this Ghost Stinger holster here, right?
Yeah.
And it's a Kydex shell for my 1911. And it's basically made of the cheapest Kydex on earth. It cracked within a month or 2 of getting it split right down the front sight channel.
Is that duct tape?
It is duct tape. Don't sidetrack right now. If I knew someone who worked with Kydex, kind of like the guy who made the holster for my Phoenix Redback, you could just make a new Kydex shell to fit on this hanger, because I really like this Ghost hanger. It's got lots of adjustability and stuff. And then this whole thing wouldn't be a waste, right? I could just get a new Kydex shell put on there. And I could get a Kydex shell made for multiple pistols, and then just swap them out on this hanger depending on what gun I want to use. If I want to change guns, I don't have to change the entire belt or change the entire holster. I'll just change that shell.
Yeah. You just saw that and you were, yeah. Easily distracted.
Let's see here. Let's get into the news. So some people added some stuff. Did you guys add the list
I
of?
added nothing.
I added that list. It's updated as of yesterday.
What are the new ones on it?
They're all new.
They're all new. Okay. Well,
they're all new.
These are donations to the CCFR Illegal Challenge. Do you want to read through them?
Okay, so Pembroke Outdoor Sports Club, they donated $4,000. SFRC, $10,000. My favorite store ever. Historical Arms Collectors of BC, $2,000. Port Coquitlam and District Hunting and Fishing Club, they donated $5,000. Ridgedale Rod and Gun Club, $500. Salmon Arm Fish and Game Club, $500. Kincardine Nimrod Gun Club is $1,000.
Nimrod.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Centre de Tir Masca, $8,000. Reliable Gun, Vancouver, $4,178. I think that was a top up, and that's why the number is rounded. TNT Gunworks, $500. Islington Sportsman's Club, $5,000. Prince George Rod and Gun Club, $1,000. British Columbia Sporting Clays Association, which is awesome, $1,000. Tisdale Wildlife Federation, $5,000. Cold Lake Fish and Game Club, $5,000. And Cowichan Fish and Game Association, $3,000. And those are just the ones that have recently donated, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot easier when a lot of people donate a little bit, and we get up to those big numbers pretty quickly.
Yep.
The next piece of news here is the city of Cold Lake opposes gun ban. One of you guys added this?
Yeah, I did. So the city of Cold Lake, Alberta decided that they were going to publicly announce that they would oppose the municipal gun ban. And if people wanted it, it wasn't going to happen in their city.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic.
Yeah, Alberta.
Yeah.
Alberta. Yeah. I mean, the province is basically going to make it so they can't, and even the municipalities are like, nope, we weren't going to anyways. We declare that we weren't going to anyways. Yeah.
So other provinces have cities that are going the total opposite of that. It's just...
Not so much for Alberta.
No, I know.
What's the RC racing scene like out there, Adriel? I'm asking for a friend, of course.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Luckily for me, there's Google. Yes.
RC racing is not something that I pay attention to. The teacher wages are very good, though. We pay the highest. Ontario pays higher for some bands, but otherwise Alberta pays the most of any of the provinces.
Bilingual master's degree. I might do okay out there.
We don't need bilingual out here. That's not required for Canada, for
but
Alberta.
I get paid for it.
Probably. Yeah.
Will you guys still have like federal
if I go
prison?
out there, I'll never have to speak French ever again?
Correct.
No, probably not.
Sign my ass up. Tabarnak.
Sorry, what?
On
Said,
s'en va, Alberta.
Is.
It's a word I won't use.
I know what tabernac is.
I will always use that word.
Yeah.
You might have to bleep that.
No.
He said fuck a while ago.
That's 3 of them this episode.
Only one by me.
All right. Well, let's get more into the news. Maybe we can get some more out.
Really? Oh, fuck.
Do you guys see this one? Support for anti-government pro-gun boogaloo movement growing in Canada.
I did. I even got messages sent to me about.
Did you read it?
What's J.R. Cox going on about? Is this the J.R. Cox thing?
No, but he was quoted in it. But this is a CBC article. It's like imagine like old people trying to describe like video games or video game culture or something like that. Like they've seen it from a distance and they're like, I think this is what this is about. That's really what the article sounds like.
So one of the things that's coming from it as well is Facebook have stated that they might be removing any references to Boogaloo. So for example,
Reddit's the same.
Yeah. Yep. So the Boogaloo bread group that we're in. Seriously.
The article is pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna read a couple of choice quotes for you guys here because there are a couple that I think are really silly. Wait, where do I find this? Oh, they got the some of the stuff is right. Like they were talking about like, oh, they wear Hawaiian shirts because it's a reference to Big Luau. And it's like, yeah, that's a thing. Does that sound like a thing that serious people do though? Doesn't sound like a serious thing.
Filthy and I wore our Hawaiian shirts at the 2-gun match. I mean, come on.
Yep. Did you know, Trevor, that the colorful shirts are in line with the satirical or seemingly innocuous elements that sometimes are used by extremist groups? It follows a much longer thread of organizing, also used by groups like the White Power movement.
I tell you, not only did I know, I didn't give a shit then, and I care even less now.
Oh man, I don't know who the CBC gets to comment on this stuff, but
so
idiots.
I'm confused. Are they wearing hoods or are they wearing Hawaiian shirts?
Hawaiian shirts. There seems to be a little bit of a difference in there, right? There's like just maybe a little bit of context they could have figured out in there. Yeah,
it's people. You know what? I don't know. People. It's funny. You got to admit it's funny.
It's supposed to be funny, but
it's supposed to be funny. Yeah.
Like we wear our Hawaiian shirts ironically, but
people think they're serious.
Yeah. So I need to stop now that the CBC has got a hold of this, because it would be like, teacher wants to boogaloo, and then the job lynch mob would come after me on social media.
Well, don't worry. According to the CBC, there are no reports of boogaloos at Canadian protests.
You think?
They called the boogaloo, like the boogaloo is not an event; it is a person now, according to them.
Okay.
This is like old people trying to figure out like LOL and LMAO and some of that kind of stuff.
Canadian protests. Have we protested anything actually Canadian recently, or are we still just piggybacking on American protests?
No,
we don't actually have any problems.
Yesterday was Canada Day. There was some firearm owners that showed up at Parliament Hill.
Oh, good for them.
There wasn't that many. Some were dressed in their boogaloo gear, I guess.
Hey, a gun owner showed up to Justin Trudeau's residence today too. I don't know if he was protesting.
No, he's a current member of the armed forces. That's not good.
Specifically the Rangers.
Yeah.
Rangers. Yeah.
What happened?
Someone from Manitoba drove his truck to Ontario, Ottawa,
and was armed and showed up at the residence.
Drove through a gate.
Yeah, the PM's
at Justin
residence.
Trudeau's place. He wasn't there.
What was this like? What was he going there to whack the PM?
They didn't say a lot.
Yeah.
I like
I thought the borders were closed. How did he get in?
Drove.
They just let him in. Where are you going? Going to see Justin.
Going to see Justin. Yep. So that happened.
There wasn't too much said about it. I think it's a career-ending move. What do you think?
for this, I wouldn't want to put it on my resume. You know, maybe if you're going to apply after that to some other place, you probably want to leave that part out.
He'll just claim PTSD, start smoking weed, everything will be fine.
Self-starter. You could put self-starter on your resume. I wouldn't put this. Motivated.
Go get her.
Go get her.
Sorry. This is horrible.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I didn't do it and you didn't do it, and we probably don't know this person, so
probably don't know. No.
Probably don't. No. Anyways, that arrest was just today. So the police aren't going to give any information out because they don't.
Ongoing investigation.
Investigation. We don't need to say anything unless it's politically convenient for us, and then we will. For now, nothing.
Yeah. Lock him up. Take away his guns. Take away his guns, then lock him up.
The government gave his guns though, so because Rangers are issued firearms from the Canadian military.
Civilian guns. No, I mean. Anyway, he's toast.
Yes.
Correct. Yep. He'll probably serve like a year and then get out.
No, actually, he won't, because he's military. He will be going to Edmonton. So just to let you know.
Edmonton.
He's going to military jail.
He's going to military. You don't want to go there.
Next thing that we have in the news here, the Alberta CFO has directed the Wapiti Shooters Club to cease all shooting activities on the outdoor rifle and handgun ranges after deeming.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Now,
What do you mean? It's like they just failed their recertification? This is news? What's going on?
Well, the club has been there for a while. They put they zoned a golf course right past the end of it, and they put a bunch of houses around it. And now they're like, man, this is unsafe. You got to shut down. So the county asked the CFO to look into it and shut them down, and the CFO has shut them down. So, even though the gun range does predate the developments.
But if they follow the template, those people wouldn't have been allowed to build there.
Yeah.
And if they allowed them to build there, then it was a well-known fact that they allowed them to build there just simply so they could eventually get rid of the range.
And the other issue is that around the range, there's a lot of popular shooting spots, like not certified shooting spots.
Yeah.
And that might be like there are some people who have like had bullet holes in their houses and that kind of thing, but it might be from people who are just shooting off range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Grand Prairie. We have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Just
middle of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
But I guess they like me. There must be a reason why they're developing so close there. Grand Prairie has been growing fairly rapidly. Yeah. So that might be why developments are starting to encroach on gun ranges that would have been in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Surprised that happened in Alberta. Here in New Brunswick, the range that Matthew used to belong to, people started to buy and build next to the range, and then they started to complain to the city council. And city council said, if you you got a problem with the range, then you pay to move the range because the range was there before you built a house there. You don't build next to train tracks, complain about the noise. You build next to a gun range. If the gun range is inconveniencing you, you can relocate the gun range at your own expense.
I mean, it's not even this is the second time it's happened in the last 5 years, because Spruce Grove got shut down as well, and that's just west of Edmonton here. That's Alberta, so it's not unprecedented that that stuff happens here. We have a rapidly growing population, and with more development, they get silly with developing around gun ranges, and they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like Alberta isn't big enough. I go to Alberta and there's like tons and tons and tons and tons of land, and every house is piled on top of each other, so the developer can just maximize profits.
Mm-hmm.
It's so gross the way you people live on top of each other like that. You could fit 3 Alberta houses on my lot.
Yeah, very much so. You got a huge lot.
I hate it.
Let's see. New gun stuff. iRun Guns has the Ruger American rifles in 223 and 7.62 by 39. So if you want to use your AR mags, there's an option. They got them for $4.90 US. Rangeview is clearing out AR parts, and they also have 20% off and no tax. So,
sweet.
I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with those parts. Nope. There's some things you could do, I guess. Like they had an M14 bolt disassembly tool, which isn't useful for M14s, but if you have an M1 Garand, that would still be useful. And a lot of these parts still fit in other guns. So, yeah. They got some Trigger Tech triggers for like $199, which is very nice. And those will fit in other guns. So, yeah, there's some options there, some bolt releases, and a whole bunch of other stuff that might be interesting. And the last one is FOC is running some, and a lot of the stores really are running Canada Day deals.
Yep.
So take a look at some of the stores. They might have deals on for today and tomorrow, and look closely because some of those deals are pretty good.
Right. SFRC has one on right now for 15% off. It's Canada Day. It started yesterday, and it's good until the 6th.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Lots of stuff out there. Make sure you guys are keeping your eyes peeled because there's some deals right now.
Yeah. Awesome. Didn't I sent you guys some info on ammo from SFRC that's on deals right now?
I forgot.
Maybe, yeah.
Or I'm already I'm stocked up on ammo. A couple of deals I took advantage of, and when I find like a good deal, like if it's a good deal, I'll buy a lot of it. I'll just stack it deep.
Yeah, because you want to be in that news when you get arrested and they come and find out your cache arsenal of
stockpile is the correct
word.
Arsenal stockpile. Yeah. Which is like it's like IPSC shooting rounds and 3-gun shooting rounds and a bunch of other stuff that I need. But
yeah,
I just like to I'm just very cheap and I like to buy it cheap.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Why don't we get on to the main topic? Our guest tonight is Keith Garcia. Keith is a California police officer serving for over 20 years with a portion served as a SWAT team leader. We're talking to Keith today because he's an exceptional 3-gun shooter and trainer, having multiple wins on the Three Gun Nation Pro Series. And he's one of the few three-gun trainers who has done clinics up in Canada. Keith, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome. So maybe let's just start off from the start. How'd you get into three-gun?
So when I was hired as a police officer, I really didn't have much experience as with firearms. I went through the academy, and that was eye-opening to me, and the instruction wasn't particularly good. Then as my career went on, I got kind of recruited to join the SWAT team, and I did that, and then I went to SWAT school and sniper school and stuff, and I thought I was getting kind of good, and in cop circles I was good, and I went to a cop only match, and it was a handgun only match, and I won, and that was probably like the worst thing that could happen, because I then went to a civilian match and got destroyed by like a 12-year-old girl. And I figured out that most police officers really, they carry the gun because it's a tool, and they're not really very good with it. And it's sad, because you could have to use it to protect yourself or somebody else, and you should be good with it. But it really spawned my interest and made me want to get better. So I went the next 5-6 years, I really focused on handgun, and I wanted to reach the level of Grandmaster, and I did. And I did that in limited division, production division, and I was able to shoot the national championship, USPSA nationals on the super squad for a few years, and it was fun. But then I got exposed to three gun, and I just found it was a lot more interesting to me, because there's so much more you have to do, so much more you have to train for, so much different gear. Obviously the one of the things that was cool about it is there's a lot more options for sponsorship, because there's so much different gear. You have three guns, plus you have all the accessories that go with it. So when I got into it, it was just the right time, and there was tons of people getting in. Three Gun Nation was getting spun up, and I kind of rode that wave, and it really was a unique time, and really the height of everything. We're talking 2012 through probably 2015, when that TV show was on, and everybody, the top 50 guys and gals were meeting for matches, same gear, same day, same stages, and no hiding. So it was really cool. But I love three gun. I love the people too. Even when I came to Canada, when I went to the Philippines, three gunners are just a lot nicer, to be honest with you, because I think everything we have to do in a three gun match, people tend to share plans, share gear, share ammo if they have to, and you go to all handgun match, and everybody seems a little more tense. I don't know if you have that up there, because all you Canadians are all very nice, but
not all of us.
Down here it's a little different. People get a little excited, and it seems like the handgun stuff people take a little bit too serious, because no one's shooting back at you. So you should have fun. And to me, if I'm not having fun, I probably wouldn't continue. I know I wouldn't continue. I've always told myself, if I wake up in the morning, I decide I don't want to go to the match or go to the range, that'll probably be it. And I haven't had that experience in the last 20 years. So I've been very fortunate. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the training. I enjoy the shooting. So, my journey to where I'm at now, it's been interesting. I did SWAT competitions for a while, which were basically 6-gun competitions, and crazy stuff like you're going to run a mile, you're going to climb a fence, and you're going to shoot one round, you're going to run another mile, and crawl through a ditch and then shoot one round, and that kind of stuff. It gets old quick, but it showed me that it was a tactical games before the tactical games was cool, kind of thing. And it showed me that I like to shoot more than I like to run. So getting into three gun and USPSA was a better deal.
Yeah, I think one of the other things about three gun that you mentioned there, it's fairly new, right? Like we haven't we've been doing three gun matches for a while, but it hasn't been like as competitive as USPSA or IPSC has been for as long. So a lot of it is like fertile ground, unbroken territory. People are figuring out new stuff all the time, and I think the competition gets much better every year after year after year. It changes quite drastically.
Well, yes, and my competition gets younger and younger and younger, and some of them were even born when I got out of college and became a cop. So it's fun in that I can still remain competitive, because you've got people who are full-time shooters like the AMU team, and then you've got a lot of youngsters who are sponsored by their parents, so essentially they're full-time shooters, and they come out and they're gunning for you every weekend, and it's good. It keeps you motivated. But yeah, you go back in the history of the thing, you go back to like the Soldier of Fortune matches down here, the original three gun stuff. That's the outlaw stuff, the real the history of it. And those are really cool. I miss those. I didn't get to shoot in those, but I hear stories, and I hear they were really fun, innovative. Everybody's got dragging stuff out there that, they really were just kind of winging it at that point because there was no set rules. And there's still a pretty popular, outlaw matches are probably the biggest, best attended matches in the country here. And the only issue with that is everybody kind of has their own skill or their own rule set. So you've got to read the rules before you go to different matches. USPSA is pretty straightforward. We have UML, that's pretty straightforward. A lot of rules, but you got to read them. But then every match you go to other than those is going to have a different rule set. So you need to really be sure of the gear you bring and what were you doing while you're there.
Yeah, we have the same thing here in terms of rule sets and variety, and majority of them being outlaw. When you were getting into 3-gun, what were some of your big breakthroughs that really took you the furthest, or what allowed you to see those step changes in results?
So I think for me personally, just committing to a training routine, figuring out what I needed to do. So, back when I started, we were loading shotgun one at a time. You had the caddies, you pull them out 4, you're thumbing them in one at a time, and you really had to practice to get good at that. And as a result, there were only about 3, 4, or 5 people in the country who were really good at it. And luckily, I was one of them, so I enjoyed that. And it was something I worked at, and I know if I went to an all shotgun stage, I was going to be in the top 3 every time because I could load the gun. But figuring out the gear and then improving upon your gear, I got some good advice early in my career, and I was told don't take free gear unless it's something that's going to improve your shooting. So I passed on a lot of different opportunities over the years because I didn't think it was really going to improve my end result, which was your results in the match. So I just stuck with the stuff that I knew was working and upgraded when I felt I was to the point where the gear was holding me back. And that to me was very good. I shot a Glock for a long time, and then I felt like the trigger and the sights were holding me back. By the time I switched to a 2011, that was a big breakthrough because now you've got a gun that's inherently more accurate. The trigger's better, has less recoil, and it's just fun to shoot. So that really was a step forward. Getting shotguns that work all the time. Getting Terran Tactical Innovations to do work on my gun, make the ports bigger. We'd map this out and got things reliable, got it easy to load. That was huge. Now this may sound funny, but just getting a scope mount that actually held the scope in place and didn't let it move around a lot where you were traveling across the country. Warren scope mounts, when I switched over to those on the advice of my friend Benny Cooley, who after I shot a long range stage, took my scope and twisted it. And I said, what are you doing? He says, you couldn't hit anything anyway, so I'm just showing you what's wrong. And then I switched over to Warren, and I got a scope mount that actually held the scope in place. So then I was real confident when I had my zeros and I traveled, because one of the things about, if you're gonna travel for 3-gun, you got to have a good case, and you got to be sure that your gun's going to be zeroed and functional and reliable when you get there. So that's one of the big hurdles about traveling all over. Like when I come up to Canada, when I've been to the Philippines or all over the United States, when I get there, I need those things to be really ultra durable and reliable. So those are big steps. Having that confidence, and then having a training plan. And I developed a training plan where 10 to 15 minutes a night I was handling the guns. And it's weapon manipulation and transition between the guns at home, at night, 5-6 days a week. And when I was training, with the height of this whole thing, I had 2 small kids, 2 jobs, and I didn't have a ton of time to myself. So I was utilizing my time trying to be efficient. If I got to the range 1 time a week, it was either to practice for a day or shoot a match. And so dry fire, really committing to that is what helped me improve dramatically.
Yeah, I can echo some of those thoughts around reliability. If I went through a couple of shotguns before I got to one that I liked that ran with cheap ammo. That was important too. And I think that when it comes to durability, a pistol in USPSA or IPSC goes from the holster to in your hands. You're not gonna bash it against, or you shouldn't bash it against stuff. You might, I guess, choose to, but whereas in 3-gun, we are dumping rifles, dumping shotguns, hitting them against barricades. The stuff needs to be a little bit more durable, a little bit more reliable as well. And getting reliability on a shotgun is pretty tough, actually. It's something that A lot of the shotgun manufacturers haven't quite cracked.
Well, the guns will run great if you put 2 or 3 rounds in them and you go shoot sporting clays. The problem, or you go hunting. The problem is we hang these big extension tubes on the end, and we put down here. We'll put 12 or more shells in there, and it's a lot of weight, and there's a lot of surge in that when you're shooting, fluctuating back and forth. So it is difficult. The timing's difficult. You really need somebody who's figured it out to do the work and get it all tuned, because the reliability of shotgun is huge, like you said. And when I came up there to Canada to teach and shoot a match, I noticed you guys had a lot of Versamaxes, and they were running. So I was like, what is this Versa magic? How do you get these things to run all the time?
Yeah, there's it's a good point to kind of talk about what we do in Canada. So in Canada, one of the big limits is on magazines, right? Now where the law says 5 rounds for center fire rifles and shotguns, 5 rounds in the magazine, but there's some other rules that you can take advantage of as well. So for shotguns, 5 rounds. Okay, cool. That it's not magazine fed though; it's tube fed, right? So this shotgun is 3.5-inch chamber. So I can make the tube out to take 5.9 3.5-inch shells, and that'll get me more in the tube than 5. And yeah, so that's something that we do out here that's a little bit different on the shotguns. Now, we had a more competitive, more interesting open division for the last 3 years. We had these Turkish box-fed shotguns, and there was a pump-action shotgun that had a similar mag that ran in it. Now, pump-action shotguns don't have a magazine limit, so people were taking those mags and using them in the semis, and that made it a lot more interesting because the open shotgun was useful. You could run a 10-round mag in it. You could run a red dot, and that's more competitive than one of these guys. But with the most recent wave of bans, those are now out. So I think most people are going to go back to those, or there's a bullpup that I think takes those mags as well. So they might use those, or maybe they'll go pump. I don't know.
So how many rounds of like 2 3/4 inch can you get in that gun?
So this one will take 7 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, and then a ghost load for 9.
Nice.
Which is nice because this is an A5. So 7 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, I can do 2 quad loads, and I can go from 0 to full just by loading them in through the port and from the bottom.
Which is all dumb when all you really need to do is change the magazine.
Which you can't do anymore.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're living in the past, Trevor. We gotta adapt.
He's living in the past, man. This is the future. Oh wait, it's prohibited. But this is the open shotgun, Keith, that he's talking about. See, 10 rounds,
right?
Magazine, mag change.
Sexy.
You don't thumb them in one at a time like a homeless person.
Yeah, I think in the States he had the RIA VR80s, and that's what that is. It's a Turk shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have one in the safe in the garage. It was $600, so I thought, wow, I could like buy some coffee, or I can get a new shotgun.
Right.
So I went down and got one of those when they came out recently. I haven't shot it yet; just sits in the safe because someday, I may get lonely and just want to shoot open. And
what's
maybe
the AK? What's the AK shotgun, Keith?
The Dissident. Or I'm sorry, the Sega.
Yeah. How popular is that?
Oh, it's huge because Dissident Arms does work on them, and they make them run like 99%. So
nice.
I rarely see them. Yeah, they're expensive though. I mean, you're talking $4 or $5 grand to get one. So, but it's a nice system.
But it's the best. Yeah, you pay, but it's the best.
It all 3-gun comes down to shotgun, right? I mean,
I don't know about that. Honestly, it's
well, if everybody, well, okay. So before MagFed, 3-gun came down to who could quad load the fastest.
When there was there was a big difference though, right? That was that fertile ground. If you could train a little bit and reload your shotgun half decently, you'd whomp everyone.
Well, so before, when we were actually pulling out of caddies and loading them one at a time, then there was a huge learning curve, and not very many people could do it very well, and that's what I liked. And now when quad loading came out, that pissed me off because it's so easy that everyone can do it. Seriously, it's so easy that you could almost everybody on the range is going to do about somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5 seconds to
Quad
turn
loads?
that gun over. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not this guy.
Well,
It
you
takes
just got to do a
practice.
little bit of practice, a little bit of dedication.
If I tried to quad load and was chewing gum, I would have a seizure and crap myself. Like it's too many moving parts.
All I want you to think about when you're there alone quad loading is just when you grab those shells, you just go hard and deep. Hard.
Like prom night.
Just say it over and over again. Hard.
Just like prom night. Just like prom night. Yeah, got it.
It's the secret. Just go through it in your head. You'll never forget.
Hard. Nope. Hard and deep. Got it.
Pro tip.
I'd be like, what was it that Keith said? Oh yeah, Keith told me to go hard and deep. Keith told me to do that. That's how I'll remember. So yes, every time I do a hard deep quad load, Keith, you'll be on my mind, buddy.
That way when you do that, it stays in. It doesn't pop out on you.
Noted. Thank you, sir. How come you guys aren't helpful like this?
So helpful.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Man. Keith, you can replace either one of these two jokers on the show, man. You
could.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing for shotguns. The ones that are popular out here, Versamaxes, like you saw. The Stogram 3K is really popular because it's cheap. The price is fantastic on it, and Benelli M2s, but it's hard to find a 3.5-inch chambered M2. Right. Yeah. I see. That's the big ask there, right? To get the 3.5 inch, you can get a couple extra shells. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird, right? Like the idea of running a 3.5-inch 3-gun shotgun when you're just going to run 2 3/4 in it doesn't make any sense. But in Canada, it does. I picked up on that really quick when I got there and figured out that everybody was going to have more shotgun shells than me. Yeah. And when we went to shoot the match, and that was fine because I just figured I'd just load faster or whatever, and it worked out. But yeah, I could see that. But the one good thing about it is it makes that match saver. It's like waving your arm in a warm room. Just throw that thing right in there. There's a huge hole. So. Yeah. Yeah, another big advantage there. I mean, the other one that we do is in pistol magazines. I was talking about 40 versus 9. This is a 9mm magazine. This is a 40 cal magazine. They both run 9. This one holds 13. This one holds 10. So that's another thing we do. And then the other is like this is a painful one because if we can't keep what we've got now. We're going to have to run like chest rigs to hold enough mags. You probably only need a few of these, or you run a D60 or something like that. Except ours got that stupid thing, that 2-cent rivet that's stopping me from becoming a mass shooter right there. Keeps this thing to 5 rounds. So rather than these, we've got stuff like this. This is 2 10-rounders that are coupled in the middle, and so you can do the flip trick to get you. And the only reason we need these rather than the 10s is just like belt space, right? Trying to get enough stupid magazines to have a half decent stage here in Canada means that you pretty much have to run these couple 10-rounders or just run like a ton of pouches on your belt, right? Too many, I think, in my opinion. I agree. Or you're going to have to limit the stages to 10 rounds of rifle or 20 or something. And, that's tough. And that's no fun. Yeah, right. I agree. So definitely being innovative. You guys are just forced to be innovative. And you know what? I like that part. So, you guys, you're thinking outside the box. Because when I came up there to teach and, I'm walking down the line with the idea that I'm going to be shooting a match against all these people in a few days. And I'm looking at, the 10-round mags that hold 13 and I'm trying to borrow some 5-round rifle mags. And I see guys who got 15 rounds in a Beowulf. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm borrowing those. Because the difference between 5 and 15 is 2 reloads and no good. So that worked out well. Especially when you're doing your long range stuff and reloading, reacquiring aim, all that kind of stuff sucks. I mean, the probably the biggest thing that's changed just recently here that's really sucking for us is on the rifles, because previously AR-15 they're restricted, so you can only take them to the range and back. You couldn't go hunting with them or anything like that here in Canada. But as a competition rifle, fantastic. Those are all prohib now. XCRs are prohib. So there is not a good choice for a rifle now. There are some okay choices. Like I've got a WK-180 that I've got set up for limited here. And this is AR-ish. I mean, it takes AR mags, so that's a positive.
Okay.
Drops free and whatnot. No bolt hold open, but I can just rack the bolt or to drop it on a new mag. So it's okay. It's okay.
Is that a direct impingement gun or is that a piston gun?
Piston. This is piston.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you basically the same thing, right? I mean,
but like, so it's okay. Yeah, they're some of the earlier ones are not very reliable. They break a lot of parts because it's like it's not a thing, right? Like the nice thing with an AR is we could get American parts, and American parts are generally pretty good, and run them in our rifles, and we're good to go there. Now we're using all these weird guns. The ACR would be a good one to get if you could get them, but those are getting hard to find. XCRs are banned, and then you could get into some weird stuff. Like there's a Benelli MR1 that's in 223. That's non-restricted still. You could get I'm gonna make you throw up in your mouth here, but a Keltec SU16 or an RDB. Those are still non-restricted.
Thank you, Keith.
And then, or you could get like something that would be completely non-competitive. You can get a bullpup. You can go like Tavor X95 or a Type 97, which we have up here. Or you could get silly and you could go for like an SKS or a PCC of some kind. But those are
you guys can still have SKSs, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
We got cheap SKSs too.
Yeah, we have our own laws. We were not affected by any of your commie laws that made you lose the SKS.
Right. Yeah,
we have our own problems. Leave the freaking SKSs alone. Don't give me ideas.
I'm gonna make a call.
Our SKS is only 5 rounds though.
Oh yeah, that's no good comes from that. That's a lot of mag changes. You really got to practice that.
And stripper clips are not fantastic.
Yeah,
on the claw.
they're not.
No. So so for our rifles, I don't even know what I would recommend to someone just getting into what they could use, just because there's just not that much that's fantastic. So
right. Well, you've always got your next election, get a new prime minister.
Yeah.
Change some of these laws.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell. He's been giving out COVID bucks like they're going into style.
Oh yeah.
You make more money staying at home now than going to work, right? He's bought the next 2 elections and ensured that my great-grandchildren will be paying off this debt.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the new normal.
Well, we're talking about like the cost to buy back these rifles would be so high they'll never do it. But they blew so much money in the last few months. It would be a drop in the bucket compared to.
That's right. Yeah. Never ever say they won't spend money. They're spending money like it's their own and not mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier when it's yours to spend. We don't have to think about it as much.
Every time I hear government funded, I want to slap somebody.
So I take it, has that been cutting down on the shooting tourists? Like when I came up there, is it much more difficult to travel up there to shoot now?
Shooting tourists has never been allowed, no matter where they come from.
Tourism. How about tourism?
You can still come up, and
this is not really a shooting destination.
Well,
they shoot a match with neutered magazines and stupid guns. Maybe we'll get to use an SKS. No,
but we had good competition though. That Prairie Fire match was good. There was a lot of good shooters. Everybody was really nice. There were fun stages. We had a good time.
Yeah, it probably won't affect the IPSC because those guns are still fine. But
for now.
Well, is everything 10 rounds though? I mean, in terms of IPSC stuff. So you're based. Oh, so do you have all the divisions, but you just limit them to 10 rounds, or you just shoot production?
Correct. No, we have all the divisions, but everything is capped to 10. Right. So we don't have L10. We just have L.
You just have
limited instead of limited 10. We just have limited. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So why anyone would shoot limited 10? Is that like the SPED division in USVSA? Limited 10.
Limited 10 down here is like for states like California, and a lot of the ones on the East Coast where there has been a magazine capacity ban.
That's why it exists.
New York,
so
New Jersey.
Right. There's quite a few states, but honestly, it's funny because we have tons of shooters in California. I mean, our matches sell out. Club matches sell out in a day, and then they're turning people away. And there's a lot of people shooting, and the laws make no difference because ATF and the DOJ out here are not going to matches to find law-abiding citizens. They're looking for criminals on the street who are using guns to commit.
See, it's the opposite up here.
Violence, crime.
Our criminals get left alone to shoot each other, and they come after the law-abiding citizens. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely at the cutting edge then.
Yay, we're progressive.
We're ahead.
You're progressive. Yes, you're ahead. You're ahead because we've got lots of people down here, and I hardly see a 10-round magazine when I go to these matches. So it's kind of entertaining. The guys in production, gals shooting production do it, and limited 10 is there's still people coming into the sport and they want to shoot limited. It's not the easiest thing to acquire the magazines if you weren't old like me before the ban and bought a whole bunch of them. But
that's right. You like actually have grandfathered mags.
Well, and wasn't there like a 2-day gap where like all bets were off and you could just go buy whatever? And
it was like a day and a half. And you know what? I got a whole bunch of stuff. And and it wasn't because I even needed to do it.
No,
I just
of course
wanted
not.
to do it.
Absolutely.
And so I got out the credit card. I'm like, oh my God. And I ordered a bunch of stuff and it showed up and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is what it used to be. But honestly, what I've heard some people do is they just, when you go to SHOT Show, you fly to Las Vegas and then you go to a gun shop and they're all out on the floor there and they're not even behind the counter and you could just pick them up and take them to the register and they don't ask you where you're going to take them to.
No, okay. None of their business.
Correct.
It's a sale.
So
it is their business.
Right. And they're not cheap.
Sale.
They're not cheap. But I have a feeling that people have done that in the past because I see a lot of magazines here. But
So I have a question about, so you've been to Prairie Fire.
Correct.
Right. So Canadians here, at least the gunnies that I know, we're very passionate about our guns, wanting to keep them and training and things like that. So if you take a typical Canadian who's a gun owner versus an American who's a gun owner, do you see any differences between the two?
So, well, I can tell you this, the people that I met, that I had the class with, that I shot with, were all much nicer than Americans.
Thank you.
Just really, honestly, not to suck up to you guys, but everybody was really, really cool.
I hear that all the time too. It's like, what's the difference? Like when you say hello to an American, do they immediately try and stab you? Do they snub you? I don't understand. Like what happens?
It could happen.
Right?
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a cultural thing. I think you guys are a little bit easier going.
Just want to get drunk with you. That's all.
I noticed there was a couple guys there trying to do that too. A lot of Molson getting passed around.
Yep.
It was good. But here's the thing with Americans, we because we have a constitutional right, and people are very passionate about keeping that. But there's also equally as many people who say we shouldn't have it. So there's quite a conflict between those people who are vocal. I don't know, how vocal your anti-gun people are in Canada, but we have people who are really organized and they attack the NRA. They've tried to bankrupt it, and they attack competition shooters a little bit, but they really go after, kind of any gun owner who wants to carry for self-defense, and they kind of skirt around the hunters because they know that the hunters, are very passionate, and if they
don't go after criminals also.
No. You can shoot a police officer with a fully automatic weapon, and in San Francisco, and Kamala Harris, when she was the DA, wouldn't go for the death penalty. So it's pretty sad state of affairs. They literally let the criminals do whatever they want.
Yeah,
so that's the same.
Yeah, I would say that we don't have particularly well organized anti-gunners, but they are very well covered. Like the media really, really covers
they also get government funding.
They get government funding. Yep, they get as well.
Yeah, the same government that runs our firearms program also funds a group who wants to take our guns away. Brilliant.
And we also have state-run media that supports that kind of stuff as well.
Well, it's our media down here is there's about 99-1 with anti-gun, anti-conservative.
But at least they're not publicly funded. Like the Communist Broadcasting Corporation is taxpayer funded and incredibly biased.
Yeah, that's too bad. That really
This
is.
country's gone so far left, it ain't ever coming back.
Nope.
Okay. So I do have
Trevor's a little ray of sunshine, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you about, so you've come up here and you've done training up here, and I know that some Canadians actually have gone down to California and trained with you down there. So what's the type, what do you need if I wanted to come down and see you and train with you in California? What do I need to do?
So bringing your guns down
Pick
here
a better
to
state.
shoot
Go to Arizona.
yeah, seriously, I do more classes in Arizona now than I do
Okay.
in California because it's easier to get there with your guns and not have any issues. Although this, it's funny because like when I went to the Philippines to shoot, man, my guns went through a million times, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, you're going to take guns to the Philippines? Oh, you're coming back!" And it was a big deal. When I went to Canada, I flew into Vancouver, and they're like, "Hey, welcome to Canada." I'm like, "Thanks." They signed my sheets, and then I flew to Saskatchewan, and my guns just came out on the
Conveyor belt.
belt, and no one ever looked at them. They never opened them in Vancouver. I just paid some money, and they just showed up on the belt. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Whatever. Let's get out of here because I don't know if somebody's going to be looking for me. And then on the way back, I fly to Vancouver, and they're like, "Hey, welcome to the U.S." I'm like, "Thanks." Didn't say anything. Didn't look at my guns, and I got to San Francisco, and they came out outside of the international terminal. They came out on the conveyor belt. And so again, I could have had 50 pounds of cocaine and 3 headless bodies in there, and no one ever looked in the case. And it was just shocking. I was like, man, they really trust these Canadians. They made me, they're going to strip search me twice on the way to Philippines and back, but not coming from Canada, it was just fine.
Well, I think that if you're going to go through all the stupid paperwork they put you through, they probably just say, it's probably fine.
But you know what? Everybody was really nice because when I called up initially, they're like, "Yeah, you need this, this, and that, and send it, and make sure you send it in ahead of time." And I did, and it was easy.
As long as you're organized.
Yeah, you're not going to be doing it spur of the moment because you got to get all that stuff squared away and have people like ready to receive you and all that good stuff. But it was, and then have a match you're going to because they needed that. It wasn't just, "Hey, I'm coming, bringing my guns, and I'm going to hang out in Canada." They were like, "Where are you going exactly? And where's this match, etc." But once they had all that filled out, it was fine. It was really smooth.
Okay.
Awesome.
But what would be even better, Kelly?
What?
You could have me in your very own home whenever you want me.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So about in March, I decided to do work with Pantio Productions and do a video on how to train for 3-gun because for the last 15 years I've been every year I change as much as I can to improve and become more efficient at my dry fire training. And I have for me, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. When you're first starting out, it'll take you, 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. But as you get more efficient, all you got to do is set up, an 4x8 table and have your rifle, pistol, shotgun, and all your gears and some dummy rounds. And you can literally learn how to do 2 of the 3 phases of the way I break down training for 3-gun and shooting. So you have shooting, weapon manipulation, and transitions. And shooting is everything, when you've got the sights on target, what you need to do to get that, make that hit with respect for target size and distance. And then everything else is weapon manipulation. So getting the guns loaded, keeping them loaded, fixing them if they're broken, how you mount them, how you're holding them, and then transitions between the guns. And those last 2, weapon manipulation and transitions, are things that people don't pay enough attention to in matches. And I'll see them, they'll get up and they'll shoot really fast, da, 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 da. And then it's, let me put this one down, and let me pick this one up, da, 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 da. Put this one down, pick this one up, and it's you waste a lot of time that way.
Yeah.
And basically what I've done is put together a 4-hour video where you can get all the dry fire training that I do, all the weapon manipulations. There's 50 or so different challenges that you do, from thinking that the weapons are loaded, to having empty chamber, loading them, having a reload in there, loading with an emergency load, weapons completely unloaded with the ammo on your belt, completely unloaded with the ammo stage. So once you've done all those in dry fire, you can take that to the range and just easily set that same table up and put up 3 targets, and then you can shoot all the drills, and you can track your performance to verify that these drills are actually helping you get better and more efficient. And
Right.
you throw in a little long range training and a little shooting on the move, and now you're ready to go shoot any match. And kind of the way I've explained this to people over the years is, once you've done all the challenges that I have in this dry fire package, you can go to any match with any, devious stage designer or match director, anything they want to try and do to you to throw you off your game. You're going to walk up and you're going to look at this challenge, whether it's an unloaded start with the ammo stage on a table or some other weird thing, and go, I already have a plan for that. That's cool. All I need to do is figure out how to shoot the stage the most efficient. And then you're not stressed out about a distraction. Some start position or something they make you do. And I see a lot of new shooters shooters have been doing it for a long time, who don't have a plan for certain things. And that's now the distraction, and it consumes them, and they're not thinking about the stage plan. They're not thinking about being efficient in their movement, and it really throws you off. So if you do the dry fire training, you build up a lot of muscle memory, first of all, for lack of a better term, and that you become more efficient. And it relieves the stress, to be honest with you, because once you become efficient with the weapon systems, getting loaded, getting on target, transitioning between them, you never have to think about it again. And you just do those dry fire techniques at home. And when you get to the range, when you're shooting a match, and the buzzer goes off, and you don't want to be thinking about every single little thing you do. You want it to happen. And if you have the muscle memory, you can let it happen, and you'll do much better. And at the end, you won't think you're going fast, but the timer is the one that tells the story.
Right. So where can you?
With new shooters, so that's one thing that really separates them, is how they deal with weird stuff, or how they deal with a jam or something like that. Whether their stage completely falls apart afterwards is something that happens, and just practicing remedials or some of the different start positions that you're mentioning there really helps with that. Really helps with reinforcing it, and not letting it bother you when you get to the stage, not obsessing over something, and instead remembering that there's a whole other stage that has to happen here. And
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what a little pro tip for you, was given to me years ago. I was shooting with the super squad in the handgun nationals, and third, fourth shot in, I had a double feed, and it took me some time to get it fixed, and then I went on to just try and catch up on the stage, which was ridiculous, and then wind up with misses and stuff. So one thing that was told to me years ago was great piece of advice: if you have something really bad happen, just shoot all A's for the rest of the stage. Just shoot all A's, because you don't want to make it worse.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's been great having you on. We're getting into 40 minutes here. I just want to make sure that we're not taking too much of your time up. Maybe before we let you go, is there anything that you wanted to promote or plug?
Where can we find those videos?
Yeah.
So Panteo.com, and the 3-gun video goes live today. There is a 30% off coupon code that's right on the website when you punch it up. And you can do a couple, 2 or 3 different ways to get it. You can order a DVD, you can just live stream it. And they have, single purchase options as well as subscriptions. And it's kind of cool. If you look at the site, there's a lot of instruction on there. Bob Vogel's doing some competition handgun stuff, and he's an excellent instructor. And there's a lot of other things for hunting and tactical shooting, and just tactical shotgun, tactical pistol, a lot of different self-defense stuff, and some really cool characters who have been involved with firearms training over the years. Louis Arbuck, Pat Rogers, guys are real icons that did a ton of teaching, like at Gun Sight, and really they were there. Jimmy Cirillo from the NYPD Hit Squad. These guys, they've got a ton of information they've passed on now, but they're living through these documents that they prepared years ago in videos. So it's really kind of fun to go in there and learn from some of the icons in shooting.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I mean, like during these times where COVID's happening and there's a lot of places that are still locked down, getting an excellent video and going through some training is probably the best that some people can be doing right now.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm going to coach you through all the different techniques, and it's ends up being 4 hours long. So it's everything I do in a 3-day class. And I think everybody will come away with something. Trevor, what'd you come away from this video, from this little chat with?
You're muted.
Yeah, muted because I'm dry firing. The last thing you said about at least make the rest of it alphas.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of the other one. Hard and.
Oh, Keith told me make sure I go hard and deep every time, and then it will come back out.
Word to the wise. It's very, very applicable.
It is, and not just the shooting.
Life.
Yeah,
just all across.
I've got a tattoo.
Hey, Christina, I got some great advice I want to share with you after the show. Christina?
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, Keith. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
It's my pleasure, and I hope to meet you all in person at some point.
Awesome.
Right on, dude. Thanks.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again to Keith for coming on and telling us a little bit about 3Gun. Do we have any feedback on the Facebooks?
Not really. People were talking about 17 HMR with gophers.
I like 17 with gophers.
Yeah.
I just think that if you're good enough, a 22 is good enough. And you can, I don't know, it's just more enjoyable. You don't need like ear pro on. You can just shoot it and have a nice day. Shoot cheap ammo. That's the other thing. 17 HMR is kind of expensive.
Expensive compared to 22 rounds.
Yeah, it's like it's getting pretty close to 223. Close enough where you're like, but if just a little bit more I could get a 223. But then you wouldn't be like plinking rimfire and enjoying yourself and shooting gophers and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Nope. Not much else on there. Luca Dan's talking about going out on Saturday to the match and bringing his cheater gun. But other than that, that's about it.
Cheater gun. Ooh.
He got from Denis apparently at DC Armory Gunsmith. Why don't we get into the listener feedback, which is now sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith? Hey, isn't that a good segue?
That's my line. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca.
Yeah.
I'll take the first one from Stephen here. Your guest, the cop. We had cops on twice, I guess, in a row.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that.
Your guest, the cop, asked and answered his question. That's why do their bodyguards get to have firearms that we can't? Is their life worth more than ours? Well, guess what? Yes, they firmly believe their lives are worth more. They also believe they are better than us. The cops that protect them are cannon fodder. We're on the same level as pond scum. That's the way liberals and Democrats think. Conservatives are not much better. Just listen to the way they speak. We need major change in how we're governed. We need absolute property rights. And by that, I mean, if purchased legally at any point, there's nothing a government can do to take it away. Period. Full stop. Yeah, Canada's constitution, some people would like to think that it's a pretty strong constitution, and it is in some ways.
Who would like to think that?
In some ways,
like
on the global scheme, on the global standpoint, it is okay. On comparison to one like the U.S., it's not very good. No. There's not very many personal liberties in there, and the problem is that if you don't have personal liberties in a constitution, the government can take them away at any point.
Absolutely.
How come we can't take the government away at any point?
You can.
You can, but you have to vote them out.
It's fairly destructive, usually. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking.
Where's my Hawaiian
I was
shirt?
talking.
Where's my Hawaiian shirt? Kelly's talking about voting. I'm like, no, Hawaiian shirt. Let's see if we can.
With you, Kelly, actually.
Now you guys are talking about Boogaloo. Remember a couple of shows ago when we were saying how many times we're going to, with Boogaloo being mentioned, we're going to be shut down. Boogaloo, Boogaloo, Boogaloo.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can detect it in the audio. If we say Big Igloo and Boogaloo and Electric Boogaloo, if you say that many times, do you think the keywords will pick it up and flag it for CSIS to look over, and they'll be like, "What's going on here?"
They got too much.
They're already watching us anyway. They can't watch criminals because criminals don't put themselves out there. We put ourselves out there. So yeah, there's a whole division that listens to podcasts and watches YouTube and watch CGN all day long. You're not fooling anybody when you say Bear Defense Thread. If you think you are, you're a moron. If you don't think the cops are watching CGN, I won't insult you. I'll just tell you you're very wrong. cops have told us they will watch CGN. So, duh.
Mm-hmm.
And us included, for sure. We're being watched. Absolutely.
Hi, everybody.
I hope so. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Add
Thanks for
to
watching.
the viewers. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Watch again. Watch as many times you want.
Thanks for boosting our numbers, Horse Police.
Some of animes.
Yeah.
Love you
Kelly,
guys.
do you want to take the next one from Range Bob?
Okay, so this was on GOC, so I decided to put it in here. So
Nice.
Range,
well, GOC love.
Yeah, excellent episode. He says, I like Craig's 1 hour chatting about the May 1st OIC impacting his professional life, including redacted anecdotes and a bit of personal life, my property, our property, and his self-directed questioning. I love that, by the way. About door-to-door searches for them and your counterpoints. I heard elsewhere that the police are already too busy to go door-to-door, but Craig added the point about defunding the police, which is another nail in the door-to-door seizure idea. His comments about horrible firearm seizure boxes, getting warrants, seizure paperwork copies to everyone was also well taken. Craig stated...
Can I make a comment right now before we go any further on this?
Sure.
The current system for seizing firearms would not lend itself well to seizing firearms, so they would just revamp it and change it before they did it.
Yeah, as part of legislation.
Right?
Yeah.
We can't seize firearms because you got to do this, 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 and this. Oh, guess what? New policy. Now you just throw them in the back of a truck.
Throw them in the dumpster.
This might actually happen. Okay, Craig stated, and he's paraphrasing this, police don't shoot a firearm or a weapon, they use a platform. So Glock platform, he went through the whole thing. Glock platform, 870, shotgun platform, 870 less lethal, shotgun platform, taser platform, and CA, which is an AR-15 platform. He said, he didn't say weapon, he said weapons because it gets confusing, and I agree with him.
They are weapons. I mean, if the
police
are
weapons. I don't care.
The police are using them. They are weapons.
That's right.
Because that's what they're going to be used for.
Yeah.
That
if
is
a
their
cop
purpose.
comes on the show and wants to call it a weapon, guess what? It's a weapon for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It is. But then we got into the whole, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Near 1 hour and 15, you talk about a rumor of PALs not being renewed and revoked and losing all firearms. If the M203 owners don't surrender them immediately for destruction, I think this is unlikely. You guys were talking about the M203 not having that grace period and having to be surrendered immediately. So he goes on to say FRT 125680 Colt M203 shows that non-restricted in February 2020. So how would the CFO know? It's a question mark. As well, they're under a 2-year amnesty and using your license, which they must issue if you meet the criteria, which is also unlawful. Also, there are no new threads about the M203 on CGN in the past 2 weeks.
I mean, if I look up M203 Colt on Armalytics right now, it says prohibited, affected by ban, prohib.
Right.
I think the thing that we were talking about was whether or not they were included in a 2-year amnesty or not.
Correct.
Which, yeah, I haven't read the relevant legislation because it doesn't affect me. Right. So I don't know.
Dave was talking about that it does not, it's not included in that you basically have to turn it in right away.
Or, but that they also don't know how many of them are out there and don't know where they are.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
So,
meh. Trevor, you want to take the next one from Josh?
Can you guys do a show on ammunition and if it makes sense to spend more money? What is the difference between between a 22 shell that costs 5 cents versus 25 cents, or a 9mm shell that costs 25 cents versus $1?
That would be interesting to do as the whole thing. Yeah, that might be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah, you know, like sometimes you get what you pay for, and sometimes you don't. You remember Dynapoint?
No.
No, 22 ammo, Dynapoint, 40 grain, 36 grain. Anyway,
I might have used it at one point, but.
And then the M22 came out. Oh, it's optimized for semi-autos. Blah blah. It was the same bullet, just like it was colored differently.
Marketing.
Just rebranded. It was ridiculous. It was a marketing thing, and it cost like buckets of money more per box. Email number 2 from Josh. I find it helpful when you let the public know what sales are upcoming, like 9mm rounds from GoTenda. As soon as GoTenda wants to pay us, we'll start advertising for them. No more freebies.
We
Adriel. You
do.
keep telling people, go to this store. They're not sponsoring us. Calgary Shooting Center pays the bills. Denis pays the bills. Everybody else pay cash. Winchester Calgary Shooting Center last week. You missed a 15% off sale at SFRC. More of this would be helpful. I'm sure it would.
Josh wants more.
Yeah, Josh wants us to Google sales for him and tell him about them. I'd be happy to tell him who has ammo for sale as soon as those stores pay us to do it. Also, where the heck can you find a good deal on 17 HMR? Someone needs to have a blowout sale on those. A neat show idea would be an upgrade special on the most popular guns. Like, what Canadian-made accessories can you get for a PC carbine or a 1022, for example?
Sure.
Yeah,
those are both good ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. See, he's coming out with all the great ideas.
Let's do
a couple of shows.
You should replace some of us.
Josh, you should come on.
Yeah.
And pick one of them topics, and we'll talk about it.
You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Sent to us from Josh V. Yeah, I like his suggestions, except for doing his research. He wants us to find out where the ammo's on sale and then tell him, do your own Googling. I know Google for you.
Gun nuts. That's where we get it from.
True story.
But the reality is, since we're only once a week, sometimes these specials and different things they sell.
Yeah, you can't count on us. Don't rely on us for nothing.
Although I do know that you, Josh, I do know that you got the email from SFRC about the 15% because I got the same one. And then when I came to see you, you said I can't go there because it's 50% off and I can't spend money. So I know that you got the 15% off email. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Good deal on 17 HMR. Cabela's has okay deals on that sometimes. I have not seen cheap 17 HMR though. A17 sometimes. A17 goes for a little bit less, depending on where you get it from. Sometimes you get that for $69 for 200, which I don't know.
Ammo is just not a thing that goes on sale very often because as much as they produce, it gets purchased. They don't have to put it on sale. And if you are going to find ammo on sale, I think it is going to be at a box store. It's going to be at a Bass Pro. It's going to be at a Cabela's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I said, SFRC just recently had that ammo on sale at 223 because they got a ton of it and people aren't really buying it right now.
Nope, because we got nothing to shoot out of.
Exactly.
Speak for yourselves. I got guns to shoot 223. Speaking of guns to shoot 223, next one here is from
You can
Spencer.
just shut up.
Hey guys, hope you're all well. Just wanted to point out that while Adriel keeps suggesting the ACR as an AR-15 replacement, if he's talking the Bushmaster model we have in the US, he's out of luck now. Remington not only stopped producing all DPMS and Bushmaster products last winter, they then shut down the brands themselves. Prices for the ACR have skyrocketed here in the US. They're almost unobtainium except for the auction sites.
Aren't they also back in Chapter 11?
The next part here is, and of course that was before the Navajo Nation bought Remington out. It's possible they'll clear out old stock on them, but if they do, they will get snapped up well before they can make it up your way. Best wishes, Spencer. Yeah, so the ACR is not going to be the option for 3-gunners. I think the real option is Wolverine's WS MCR. Their upgraded one that has steel plates on the side and a couple of things that are fixed. You know who did a review on that one? You don't like him, Trevor, is AVE, but he did a breakdown of that gun.
I like him
on YouTube. He's the guy who throws around. He's the engineer that does not do gun reviews. He doesn't know what he's talking about for guns, but he knows what he's talking about for like materials and that kind of thing.
Okay, that's why I don't like him.
I don't know.
Dude, you got to help me. The list of people I don't like is so long, man. Like,
yeah. And then, I think that might be the go-to for three gunners in Canada, because like as I was going through some of the list, I was trying to think of what I would use if I didn't have a rifle for three gun right now, and I don't really like any of the answers. I don't like any of these.
Is the WK still a thing, or did we lose that
WK
too?
is still a thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's not prohibited.
Still fine. And
it's never fine, but still legal.
Correct. Well, I mean, I'll win a match with this. I have won matches with this one. They're unreliable. They break parts. But the new one from Wolverine might be better because it has a different manufacturer, right?
Does it shoot out of battery?
No.
Okay, well, I'm kind of interested then.
Stop.
It's got that over the FX9, eh?
Right.
But I mean, like, and the triggers you can swap out, the barrels you could swap out if you really wanted to. Forends you can swap out stock. Like this isn't the stock.
Then the longer. I mean, let's face it. When the AR-15 came out, it had a lot of bugs in its system too. You know what I mean? Like that's not a new design, but it's still a new product. And if they stay behind it, it is going to continue to get refined and get better.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
And
give
now
up
that there's
on the
multiple manufacturers, because there's RWS in Calgary that makes parts. There's
well, they were making parts for the original.
Correct. And there's
for that they make that cool bolt release.
Yeah, I've got one on the side there.
Yeah, proper.
It's not really. It's not like it's usable if you if you just want to lock it open.
Right.
Yeah, but like, how am I supposed to? Okay, I put my mag in. Now what?
Yeah.
So I would just go up there if I need to.
Yeah.
Of course.
Put new mag
Andrew Darcy's wondering about the SL8 for 3-gun.
It's just so bloody expensive, and
yeah,
I mean, it's cost prohibitive, and the manual of arms is but whatever, you can get used to that. It's just cost prohibitive. It's not upgradable, but doesn't need to be. I mean, I hear they're super accurate. I've handled them. They don't. I mean, it's just
like whenever we talk about a competition rifle, the deciding factor is like how close to an AR is it?
Yeah.
Can I use AR barrels? Can I use AR forends? Can I use AR triggers? Can I use grips, stocks, like all that stuff? Because it might be good out of the box for you. It might not be. Like realistically, if I was going to shoot 3-gun with this, I would probably take this stock off and go to a telescoping one, because I have shot a couple of times where it's like, ooh, I'm seated. I need to get this gun through this fake window of a car, and I need the room because I got this stupid 18-inch barrel on it, and I've just collapsed the stock all the way, and I just shoot with it close in, right? Now I can't do that with a fixed stock, so I could probably go back to that. It's gamer stuff, Trevor.
I understand.
You appreciate the gamer
I
stuff.
sure do. So, Adriel, do me a favor.
Yeah.
When you're ready to sell that WK, I'd like first refusal on it.
I don't know if he's going to get ready to sell it.
I might get the new one that Wolverine has with the steel plate sides, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, the other ones, like what else? Like the bullpups suck at 3-gun. Just to be clear, the Benelli MR1, maybe I've seen those. They're all right. They're $2,000.
Thin pencil barrel, shitty ergonomics.
Yep. And then
they
you
take
get
an
into
AR mag. That's all they got going for them.
SU-16, not going to last.
No,
that
stop.
receiver is going to break.
It's garbage.
The plastic receiver just won't handle
not even an option.
The abuse of 3-gun. No, so like there's not really an option. If you went for bullpup, there are some guns that would be reliable enough to run. It's just the ergo's terrible. The ergos are terrible.
Again, you can get used to it. I've seen some guys figure out the manual of arms on a Tavor and rock and just make it happen. There's a video of Costa. Costa figured it out, man. He's like, does this bump.
I think those guys don't have to reload their magazines as often as we do have in Canada.
No, the whole drill that Costa was doing was a reloading drill with the Tavor to show how it could be done as quickly as an AR.
Yeah, I would be more apt to believe that the Tavor could be run if you just need a little bit of extra training. If anyone ran them competitively.
Well, they didn't have to run them competitively, but now they do. There was no need to learn the manual of arms because you had ARs and AR-style platforms. Now, you got to learn it, and you're going to learn it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how, like if anyone at my local 3-gun club picks up a bullpup, I would be super interested to see if their rankings dropped or stay the same. If they just put in a little bit of more dry fire with it, and they figured out how to like reload it from urban prone and some of these other positions that suck to reload with a bullpup. If they figured that out, I wonder if they would stay the same.
I believe they will.
Bracing sucks with it too. Like the nice thing with an AR platform is you're bracing way out there. You can grab onto like a chunk of wall and you can make long distance shots like this. And with a bullpup, you're just not getting that far out.
Close.
Yeah. Anyways.
And it's heavy.
Yeah. And
but like a bullpup, like close in, if it's heavy, that's okay. It just,
it's heavy for when you got to run and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Filthy found his was awkward to pick up.
I can see that. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awkward if you haven't done it a lot. If you're used to your AR-15, but as Adriel says, put some time and effort into it, figure the stuff out, and it muscle memory.
I'm not as optimistic as you guys. I don't think they'll be competitive. I think if you gave one guy a little bit of dry fire time to figure that stuff out on a Tavor and on a 180, I think they would be a lot faster with the 180.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think give Keith the 180, give Keith the Tavor. He gets every bit as fast with the Tavor as he can with the 180.
Keith, write in and let us know.
This is something that we should test.
Message him.
We should test this.
We should test
this.
This would be so good to test. What goes into what are the parameters around this thing? How much dry fire time do you get on the Tavor before it's time to test head to head?
We've already gone too far to the point where it's more effort than we're going to put into it, but it would be like you have to come up with an equal amount of dry fire on both, and then here are the drills, and then you're timed. And
all you'd have to do is take a 3-gun stage and say, hey, can I reshoot this one with my Tavor now?
You got to go to the range. You got to set up your own drills. You're not going to like piggyback on some match director's match and stages. And no, you go to the range. Like you and I would go to the range. We would set up some realistic training drills for 3-gun style competition. And we would run them with the Tavor and then run them with the WK. After we wouldn't even need to train on the WK because we cut our teeth on the AR style platform. So we put the WK down and we spent a month on a Tavor, dry firing and live firing. And then we go and we'd run the same drills back to back with the WK and then run the same drills with the Tavor and compare.
We've got a listener, Chad, who did a course with a Tavor.
Yeah. Captain Andy's done a course with Tavor. Filthy runs a Tavor.
But do those guys shoot 3-gun? Like Chad shoots 3-gun regularly. So we should just ask him because he shoots regular 3-gun matches. We could just ask him. Tavor or
and then
WK.
We don't have to do anything. Perfect. The slam fire away.
The laziness is pinned right up there.
We don't even want to shoot guns.
Chad, if you're listening,
somebody else who's got one. Yeah, Chad, tell us.
We need to know. If you'd like to email the show and give us like fantastic show ideas, so we don't have to think them up.
If you want to give us a TV show, this would be a great episode. See, if we were doing a TV show and had a budget, this would definitely be an episode. This is the kind of thing we would do if we would just, quit our day
fly
jobs
out to somewhere. Yep. Lock
wearing
down
the COVID mask.
Buy the range out. Just be like, nope, sorry, we're doing something today.
Go home, poors. Go home. Here. It's our range today.
Yeah. So if you want to offer us a show, email the show at slamfireradio@gmail.com.
It's time. Yeah.
Podcast app reviews. We don't have any of those. Patreon supporters, no new Patreonies. But if you'd like to, head on over to patreon.com/slamfireradio to help support the show. Shout out.
Fund our TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, to all the match directors of the matches I attended, thank you very much for putting on matches right now in these uncertain times of foolishness. So Justin, Joe, and Joel, you guys, all your matches were awesome. I had a great time, and looking forward to going to your matches again soon.
Awesome. Kelly?
Yeah, I have a couple. So I have one for Josh V. I kind of already gave him a shout out, but thanks for the amazing service at FW Black. And I received my new fridge today, and it's awesome. Thank you. And also to Thomas G for putting on a kick-ass ORPS match yesterday. It was so much fun. I'm going to shoot it again, I think. Well, not I think, I am. And also to Mercy for hosting us and all the good stuff we had and all the fun we had. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Please join our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR. Check us out on Gunners of Canada. Like us on Facebook, and we'll see you next week.